for whoever's, I forgot the guy's name right now. Fidel Castro has been dead almost 10 years now. Freaking his brother Castro stepped down over 5 years ago. Cuba has had many elections, and they keep electing the Communist Party. Cuba is communist, right? What is this shit she's going before the fucking Caricom and talking about Cuba's a dictatorship and we're not gonna have no dictatorship or communism in the Caribbean. Communism is first of all, is a far superior system than capitalism. You know, basically, communism is where the government basically takes care of the basic needs of the people: education, housing, police, fire, roads. All basically, communism is a government using the resources of the country to take care of its people. That is communism. Capitalism is something different, where you go into other places. Hold on, let me put back on the speech for this guy, because the speeches are starting back. Hang on.
Of government, as many leaders that time would permit. But as I traveled from state to state, country to country, and in many cases, island to island, there was one undeniable fact: that this Caribbean of ours is the most beautiful place on earth. And I know we have our international guests here, but I'm sure they would excuse me. But as I met each leader, it stirred something in me. It stirred a sense of pride, a sense of dignity, that though we varied sometimes in our own outlook, our politics, our geopolitical position, irrespective of all of that, there is indeed a fact that remains: that these leaders in the Caribbean, who are a reflection of our people, are surely people to be proud of. And so the Caribbean at this time, and Caricom, might be going through challenges and difficulties. But I want to say one thing before I get further into it. That at a time when it seems toughest, when the seas seem rough, when those who are the critics are doing their best at criticizing and suggesting that Caricom has lost its way, today in St. Kitts and Nevis, in this great hall, in our presence, are all the leaders of the full members of Caricom. And almost all the leaders of the associated states. And the last time, when we had all the leaders in the same space for a meeting, was over 10 years ago. So in adversity, there's opportunity. Put your hands together for all our Caribbean leaders who are here with us this evening. Your Excellency, Dame Marcella Liebert, Governor General of this beautiful twin island state of St. Kitts and Nevis, to all of my fellow heads of government who are here, who have already been introduced, I salute you. To our dear SG Barnett, whose tireless work is certainly keeping us together and afloat. She has been working hard, and put your hands together for her as well. You know, sometimes I feel bad when she has to get up 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, responding to international emergencies. And she does it without flinching. Thank you, SG, for your leadership. I want to recognize all of the members of the cabinet, of the government of StKittsNevis who are here this evening. I want to thank you for your tremendous support. I want to thank all of our international guests, our special guests, whose names have been mentioned already. I want to thank you for the confidence that you have reposed in us with your presence and your continued collaboration, not just as a federation of StKittsNevis, but definitely as a region. We are certainly happy to have you here in this Twin Island Federation. Today, as you entered your rooms, you would have found a handwritten note. A note that I made deliberate effort to ensure that my penmanship was clear. As a doctor, they said my penmanship is bad. But I made sure, I committed to ensure that you would be able to understand it. And it was a simple message to you, my colleagues. Welcome to StKittsNevis. We are honored to host you. Together, let us continue strengthening Caricom for the benefit of all of our people. Signed, Terrance. And Terrance is yours truly. And over the past several weeks, as I've said before, I had the privilege of visiting many of you. In every capital, I was received with warmth and generosity. As a result, I left each encounter with a renewed sense of pride in your leadership, your intellect, and your unwavering commitment to this regional enterprise. Your insights have enriched our collective preparation for this meeting, and for that, I thank each of you sincerely and dearly. At this juncture, I wish to place on record our profound appreciation for Prime Minister, Most Honorable Andrew Holness, for his service as chairman of Caricom. His tenure, put your hands together for him. Thank you, Most Honorable. His tenure was marked by steady stewardship during a period of global uncertainty and regional complexity. But with a calm resolve and clarity of purpose, he guided our deliberations, strengthened engagement among member states, and ensured that the community's voice remained coherent and respected on the international stage. Under his chairmanship, Caricom continued to advocate firmly on issues of climate justice, security, cooperation, and economic resilience. You heard him tonight. His leadership reflected discipline, dignity, and a deep commitment to togetherness. So on behalf of the Federation of StKittsNevis, and on behalf of all the members of this great community, I extend sincere thanks to you, Prime Minister, for your service to our community. Put your hands together again for him. Colleagues, Caricom stands at a decisive hour. The global order is shifting, and as was mentioned, it has probably already shifted. Supply chains remain uncertain, energy markets fluctuate, and climate shocks intensify. In such a world, fragmentation breeds vulnerability. By contrast, my dear colleagues, togetherness generates resilience. Before examining the road ahead, it is important to reflect on who we are as a people. From the crucible of oppression and exploitation. We built free and democratic nations. From discarded oil drums in Trinidad, we fashioned the Steelpan. From struggle emerged spiritual movements such as the Spiritual Baptists of the Grenadines and St. Vincent, and the Rastafari movement throughout the region, which was started in Jamaica. We gave the world reggae music. We gave the world soca and all of the genre. We gave the world compa and zouk. We gave the world an enticement of music that none other could have done. But we also produced Nobel laureates, scholars, athletes. The fastest human being is from this region. We also produced revolutionaries. Revolutionaries from our sister country of Haiti, which fought for its independence and became the first country on earth where the slaves took their freedom. Revolutionaries who shaped labor rights and democratic governance. And I speak to the uprising of 1935 at Buckley's estate right here in StKittsNevis that sent shockwaves throughout the whole world. And I might add that our contribution has been significant to the point where even a founding father of the United States of America, His Excellency, Honorable, God bless his soul, Alexander Hamilton, was born in this Caribbean basin. He was born on the island of Nevis. That is our significant contribution to the world. Accordingly, a world without Caricom would be culturally poorer, intellectually diminished, and spiritually less vibrant. Just imagine a world without Caricom. It definitely would not be the same. Our integration was neither accidental or causal. It was formalized through the Treaty of Chaguaramas and the revised treaty. That treaty was not merely a document. It was a declaration of Caribbean confidence. It was grounded in cooperation, functional integration, economic coordination, and collective self-reliance. Those guiding principles are not simply historical markers. Rather, they are living instruments that must guide our conduct today. We must never, ever forget our foundational principles. Indeed, by ourselves, many of our states could not have achieved what togetherness has made possible. Through CAFA, we strengthened regional public health surveillance and coordinated response. Through RSS, Regional Security System, we enhanced collective security operations. Through CSEC, we harmonized educational standards and expanded opportunity for all of our people, especially our young people. Through the Caribbean Development Bank, we secured development financing and technical support that strengthened infrastructure and social investment across our region. By ourselves, these achievements would have remained aspirations only, but through togetherness, they became reality. This is the contribution of Caricom. But against this foundation, we have now deepened our collective effort. Food security, we must deepen our collective effort. Food security, for instance, must evolve into food sovereignty. We cannot continue what we are capable of producing by importing so much. We must modernize agriculture, invest in agro-processing, expand irrigation, and remove barriers that slow movement of agricultural goods across our borders. We owe it to our farmers, our entrepreneurs, and our young innovators to ensure that regional opportunity is not obstructed by administrative hesitation. Similarly, connectivity must move from aspiration to implementation. It must not be easier to travel beyond our region than within it. Therefore, we must strengthen air and sea links, improve port efficiency, and digitize custom systems that serve our purpose. Connectivity is the infrastructure of togetherness. It allows trade, culture, and opportunity to circulate freely within our shared Caribbean space. In the same spirit, energy security, as was mentioned by our dear president from Suriname, energy security demands coordinated ambition. Our dependence on imported fossil fuels exposes us to volatility and drains precious foreign exchange. In StKittsNevis, for example, we are approaching a transformational milestone. On Nevis, specifically, we are preparing to finalize arrangements to commence geothermal drilling this year, a goal that our fellow country of Dominica has achieved, and we have learned significantly from the experience. Significantly, this has been made possible through collaboration between the government and the opposition. When the national interest is clear, togetherness must prevail. When I initially take office and I met with the leader of the opposition, who is the premier of Nevis, I said to him, we have differing political views. As a matter of fact, I am on the government side and you're on the opposition side. But there's a resource in the federation that can liberate our federation and help us to become energy independent and transform us as a people. I think at the heart of everything, you want better for your people in Nevis, I want better for the people of the federation, and I'm willing to set all political differences aside so that we can treat the issue of geothermal and energy independence as a national aspect that we can forge together. And I want to say that the leader of the opposition and premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Grantley, I have not seen him, but I trust that he's here with us this evening. Thank you for your collaboration and cooperation. And so I recognize, my dear sister from Trinidad and Tobago, Prime Minister, that you are here with the Chief Minister, I think you mentioned, from Tobago. And I'm saying that we are expressing that same solidarity when national interest is more important than our personal political ambitions. Thank you, Premier. But I want to say that we have achieved this thus far because another Caricom institution, CDB, has been instrumental in carrying us the furthest point that we have reached to realize the development of geothermal on Nevis. Without Caricom, it would not have been possible. And to that end, I want to thank our dear friends from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia who are partnering with us as well. Put your hands together for them. But as I speak about energy independence, I want to speak also about trade. Because trade must be advanced with renewed commitment. Inter-regional commerce remains below its potential, far below its potential. We must therefore dismantle barriers that impede us and strengthen regional value chains. Trade is not merely an economic transaction. It is the circulation of opportunity. And we owe it to our people. We owe it to all of our people to ensure that opportunity moves freely within our community. And at the same time, regional security demands vigilance and innovation. Transnational criminal networks exploit our geography and vulnerabilities. Illicit firearms, narcotics trafficking, cybercrime, and money laundering undermine public safety and economic confidence. Our response must therefore be intelligence-driven and regionally coordinated. Again, we need that togetherness to tackle the issue of transnational crime. Here in StKittsNevis, and as we have said and we have recognized, that we are independent sovereign states and we take decisions at times that would benefit our nation. And there might be differing views on how we approach certain situations because of our unique positions. So in StKittsNevis, we have approached crime and violence through a public health lens. We established a citizen security secretariat, integrating enforcement with social services and community engagement. We are now transforming it into the National Secretariat for Human Security and Well-being. It cannot just be citizens who we take care of alone, but anybody who comes to our shores, we have to determine that their security is also our priority. Hence, human security and well-being. This reflects the understanding that security encompasses dignity of all of our citizens, opportunity for all of our citizens and people, and stability for all of our people. And as a consequence of this coordinated approach, where we brought all together, including the opposition, for once again, I stepped out and said that the issue of national security and crime and violence cannot be a political football or just a political matter. It is a national matter. And if it is a national matter, then it takes a national approach. And so our position was to bring all together, government, opposition, and the community. And as a result of that coordinated approach, with, of course, national security being fundamental as well, over the past year and a half, we have recorded in StKittsNevis an over 80% reduction in homicides, reaching the lowest levels in decades. And this approach has worked extremely well for StKittsNevis. Sometimes one cap does not fit all, but this is the cap that StKittsNevis carries. Lives that have been lost are now being saved. Trauma that could have been caused has been released.
Listen to this. Listen to him embarrass Kamla.
And so while the work is not complete, these results demonstrate that when institutions and communities act together, meaningful progress is achievable. When institutions and communities act together, meaningful progress is achievable. All within the broader security framework, Haiti demands our sustained attention. A stable Haiti is a stable Caribbean. The Haitian people are part of our regional family. StKittsNevis, as small as we are, we welcome members of the Haitian community and extended all of our social services and support and settled a community of Haitians here in our small state. And so even as a small state, we have done such. However, our resources, we must admit, are finite. Nevertheless, we must continue to work as a community to ensure that the best opportunity for Haiti to remain to peace and tranquility, stability, democracy, economic development, all these things that would benefit their people, we must not waver. Health and security remains equally indispensable across our region. Shared surveillance, coordinated emergency response, resilient supply chains, and strong public health institutions are essential if we are to continue to be a healthy people in this region. CARFA exemplifies how togetherness in health governance saves lives and strengthens confidence. Another Caricom entity serving our people. None by ourselves could have handled the response during COVID, but through CARFA, its diligent work, its coordinated efforts, bringing all of us together, we were able to confront COVID as a region and survived, and we were victorious. But moreover, the climate crisis compels urgent and coordinated action. Our rising sea levels, stronger hurricanes, and unpredictable rainfall threatens our infrastructure and economies. Though our emissions are small, our exposure is significant. Therefore, we must advocate for one voice internationally while strengthening resilience at home. Climate action rooted in togetherness safeguards our shared future. The Caribbean is disproportionately affected negatively by the scourge of climate change, and we must never relent to advocate for ourselves on the international stage. I want to say, as I wrap up this final one, technological advancement. This will define the next generation of Caribbean development. Digital transformation strengthens governance, education, commerce, and security. Initiatives such as expanded digital education, these offerings from our fellow Caricom country of Guyana, illustrate how innovation can widen access and empower our youth. We must strengthen digital infrastructure, enhance cyber resilience, and cultivate technological capacity that supports diversification and competitiveness. Technological progress pursued together expands possibility for all of our people here in Caricom. And so taken collectively, and I've only touched on a few issues, these priorities are not isolated ambitions. Rather, they are interconnected expressions of togetherness in action. Food security reinforces health. Energy security strengthens trade. Connectivity enables commerce. Technology enhances security. Regional engagement stabilizes Haiti. Climate resilience protects our future. History, I say to us this evening, will not measure us by our communiques, but by our courage. And all of the geopolitical matters that are happening in our region. I've spoken to the matter of Haiti, but the humanitarian situation in Cuba, our community must address. For a destabilized Cuba will definitely affect the whole region. A destabilized Cuba will destabilize all of us. Cuba's population is anywhere from 9 to 12 million people. Excluding Haiti, the rest of Caricom does not amount to 10 million people. Therefore, If a state within our community is so destabilized, it will affect all of us in the region. And as a matter of course, it is important that the community looks at the humanitarian issue in Cuba, treats it extremely seriously. And the community must serve as a conduit to ensure that there is communication and dialogue between the forces that be, so that the best opportunity can be had. And so I ask the community that even though the situation might be daunting, we have a collective effort to make to stabilize our region. I must give full disclosure. I studied in Cuba. I lived in Cuba for 7 years. I have friends there. I have people who are like family to me. They reach out to me and tell me of their difficulties. Food has become terribly scarce for some. Access to water has been challenging. Garbage fill the streets. Houses without electricity. I can only feel the pain of those who treated me so well when I was a student. I can feel their challenges and their difficulties. I do not get involved in their politics, but as a matter of humanity, it is challenging. I will say it is almost impossible not to feel the pain the pain that is conveyed to me in messages and calls from those who I lived among. And therefore, I want to bring that to Caricom so that we can look at the humanitarian situation. And like the others would have said before me, let us devise the mechanisms, the channels, so that we can help the people of Cuba at this particular time. And so Caricom can help directly, and Caricom can become a conduit for conversations so that the best outcome would be had. And so, if ever there were a time to recommit ourselves to togetherness, it is now. If ever there was a time to recommit ourselves to togetherness, it is now. Therefore, I call on all of us, respecting our sovereignty, and it was put very eloquently by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, that our sovereignties must be respected. But while we do that,
yes, sir,
and that cannot be compromised.
How embarrassing for Kamla that she's getting called out like this.
That this
right after she speaks.
Be remembered.
Very good speech.
Not merely for eloquence and speeches, not merely for the niceties of the decorations, not merely for the huge crowd that is here and the excellent entertainment that we had, not merely for the fact that all the leaders are here with us today, but let this be a conference that must be remembered for action, for execution, that would have advanced our Caribbean community and civilization. Let us commit, therefore, to measurable outcomes, disciplined coordination, and faithful adherence to the principles that founded our community. Let us strengthen Caricom. For none, I said, in my opening remarks or my introductory speech, none is coming to save us. We must save ourselves. And as we depart from this gathering, may we do so grounded in togetherness, confident in our shared strength, and unwavering in our collective purpose. The Caribbean has always risen from adversity. We have gone through slavery. We have gone through indentured labor. We have gone through colonization. And yet today, the Caribbean stands as a beacon on the world stage. Surely we have risen from adversity. And if we have done it before, and we are better equipped now, more experienced now, therefore, the reason why I visited each country is because I believe so deeply in the ideals of our Caribbean community and the principles of Caricom, that despite the adversities, I have that hope of a child, but I think it is well placed, that the Caribbean, through this difficult situation that we face at this time, that we shall rise again. But we shall not only rise again for those who think we need to be uplifted, but I dare say that we should rise again, and we will rise again together. And we will rise again together, not for the benefit of individual leaders or political entities, but we shall rise again for the benefit of all of our people, from the north to the south, the east and the west. The peoples of the Caribbean now has become one people, but we shall rise and continue to lead and occupy our space on the world. I want to thank you so much for your attendance. I want to thank you so much for your commitment. Every leader here tonight has demonstrated their commitment. In my private conversations with you, you have said that, and you have committed to that by coming here to StKittsNevis, at least to sit, dialogue, and move this great community that we call Caricom together. Thank you, and may God bless all of you, and welcome to StKittsNevis once again. Thank you very much.
We're deeply appreciative to Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terrance Drew for bringing the feature address.
For nobody.
Your message.